this has come to my attention just yesterday regarding the Region Appeal citizen appointment for the Peel Police Services Board. It's a petition, so I'd like to just read this to you and we could have a bit of a discussion around how the process is going. And it reads, to the Black community in the Peel region, we need Black representation on the Peel Regional Police Services Board. We need Black representation on the Peel Regional Police Service Board. The new term for the Region of Peel comes with an incredible opportunity to give meaningful support to Black communities with regard to the current lack of representation on the Peel Police Services Board. It is time for representation. We have had discussions with Mayor Crombie and Mayor Brown about this in the past, and the report of the Mayor's Advisory Black Community Engagement reflects this view and was adopted by Mississauga Council. The community recommendations centered on the following theme: Black representation on the Peel Regional Police Service Board. Mayor Brown was kind enough to write a letter to the Solicitor General on behalf of members of his own Black advisory in Brampton, eloquently and unequivocally making the point that Black communities in Peel, quote unquote, see a disproportionate engagement with police and a historical underrepresentation on the Peel Police Board, with only one member having served who was Black. Unfortunately, the Peel provincial appointments did not include anyone from the Mississauga or Brampton's Black communities. This leaves the Region of Peel in the ideal position to correct this situation by agreeing to consult with Black leaders and choose this appointment from a short list of Black candidates that the Black community will put forth for consideration. Why is this important? Black communities deserve a voice on the issues that impact our families. The best way to ensure that concerns are addressed is to mobilize and build collective power. Democracy is ongoing and accountability requires all of us to stay engaged. As we grapple with the trouble over representation of Black people in violent interactions with the police, Peel Regional Police, enacting the historic agreement between PRP, the board, and the Ontario Human Rights Commission, the aftermath of carding, the permanent end of school resource officer program, the tragic loss of life, and the intersections of mental health crises and Blackness. We are counting on our elected and appointed officials to work with the Black communities and Black leaders to get this appointment right. We deliver this position to mayors and Peel Regional Services Board. And it's a petition that's signed by 550 people. 550 people signed it, yes. Mayor Crombie.
Yeah, thank you. And where do the signatures come from? All over Peel or just Mississauga?
That's from all over Peel. The gentleman who initiated this lives in Brampton, so he wanted to connect with as many people, leaders in the Black community as possible.
Well, it's interesting. I think they're right. I agree with them. And I was very surprised that the last appointment wasn't a Black person. I actually had the conversation with the Premier and indicated to him my preference would be that the Black community be represented. So it was very surprising. Thank you.
Thank you. And the one Black person that has been on in the past was a Black woman. They have never had a Black man on the Police Services Board, which is interesting considering those are the people that are most overrepresented and underrepresented at different points. So the question I do have, though, is what is happening with the process? Can we talk to how the selection process goes, just so there's some understanding of that? Councillor Parrish.
Yes, the Policy and Procedures Committee received quite a few resumes, applications. The staff went through them with a scoring system that we had all agreed to. Then we met as a committee and went through them again, and I think we have 5 applicants that made it into the interview stage tomorrow, 4 of whom are Black, 1 is not, and they're all very well qualified. And from my perspective, whoever's the best candidate and does the best interview and has the best resume will probably be chosen. That's how we do it. We don't color code our applicants, so it will be the best candidate at the end of the interviews. The 2 mayors are on the committee, 3 mayors are on the committee, and that committee will be making a recommendation to Regional Council, and they will pass it or not.
Councillor Mahoney.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And just curious, because I don't sit on that committee, is the decision made tomorrow after the interviews, or do they come and interview and you step back and have a conversation, or the decision will be made tomorrow?
I can get my mic. The recommendation will be made tomorrow. There'll be a discussion at the end of it. The decision is made by Regional Council as a whole. Other councillors are more than welcome to join as observers. We don't usually have questions from the observing councillors because they like to have a consistent set of questions for each candidate, so nobody gets an advantage or a disadvantage. And the questions will be asked by our staff at the region. So we are mostly all observers. There's a discussion at the end. The voting at that juncture tomorrow will be just the members of the committee and only members who've sat through all the interviews. So you can't sort of pop in and pop out. I understand it's going to be a very tense couple of days over this, but all I can assure you is, in my mind, the best candidate who has the best resume and who has the best interview should be the one that will be chosen.
Councillor Mahoney, do you have another?
No, I appreciate the clarity on that, and through you, Mr. Chair, I just was curious on the process, and I do know that that's how it goes. And as far as this petition, because this is the first that I've seen it, is that, I guess that's received, or has that been put on record at the city, or does it go to the region? I'm just curious on process is all, really, and where that petition goes, because this is the first that's not been sent to me, so.
Right, so from just researching how to do this yesterday, it was just brought to my attention to bring for conversation in terms of matters pertaining to regional. So it's just to spark the conversation around what's going to come up at regional tomorrow, the selection process tomorrow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.